Well, I want to step back before we get too deep into your business and trying to understand it. But like, I think one thing I connect with you also is just the fact that you were an athlete prior to this, right? I think a lot of people come in this world and they're trying to figure it out. And I feel like the athletes who come into the business world have a unique advantage. And I'm curious to your thoughts because you played baseball at a pretty high level, right?
Yep, professionally.
What do you look like, you taking the jump from athletics into business? What were the big benefits or what were the things that I think you got from sports that helps you be successful in the business world?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could agree with this. Like in sports, every day you're competing. Every day, you don't feel great, but you got to still perform. Every day you have to just deal with constant challenges and opponents and whatever. And your opponent could be competition. It could be Facebook. It could be the algorithm. Like it could be anything, right? And for me, it's just like, I'm never going to complain about what's going on in the world. I'm never going to complain about cost per lead or any of the stuff that I see lots of people complaining about. It's like, guys, just deal with it and just keep moving forward. So I think it's just the mentality of, look, if we're going to play the game, like, let's just play the game. Let's not complain about it. Let's just keep pushing forward no matter how hard it is.
Mm-hmm. How many years did you play baseball?
Well, I played my whole life, but I played professionally for 8 years.
Okay. Yeah. What was your highest high and your lowest low through baseball?
Well, the lowest low is easy. The lowest low is the first time I got released. You know, I was 23, almost turned 24 years old, and the Oakland A's released me, and they're like, hey, you know, you're not good enough. And
is that a phone call or a letter? How do they?
No, it's in spring training. Sometimes it's those things, but this was in spring training. And, you know, they just call you in the office and they're like, hey, you know, we're going to go a different direction. It's kind of like getting fired, you know? And I mean, you just got to imagine when you're a young kid and you're always the best. And then, you know, you're 24 and your dream is just taken away. And it's like, now what? And so that was the first time in my life I had to contemplate, oh, wow, like baseball might not be my future. And at that point, I didn't like real estate. I wasn't doing social media or any of the stuff. It was just all baseball. So
was that the end of the career? Or did it,
yeah, I thought it was the end. I had played 3 years with Oakland, and then I ended up playing 5 more seasons in independent baseball with other teams and stuff. So, but during that time, during that 5 years, I kind of like was like, all right, this is for fun. Like this is a long shot. If it works, it works, but I need to start prepping for what's next. And so that led me to real estate and everything else.
I think a lot of people come to my work because they do want to be a coach and they're trying to figure out they struggle. But yeah, for those who like, I'm not passionate about this, why should I be doing this? Like, how do you, inside of an opportunity like both of these, how did you find enough passion to actually do it? Because it takes a lot of work, right?
And you just brought up a good point that I've told people before too. Like, even what I do today, I don't really care about social media. Like, I really don't get all fired up to go film and do podcast and like script a video. Okay. Like it doesn't really fire me up. Like I get fired up to go play golf, to do cool, fun stuff, to do
fly to Boise.
Yeah. Fly to Boise. No, I'm fired up to do that. I love doing that. I enjoy ministry. Like I enjoy those things. But most of the things I have to do on a daily basis, I don't necessarily enjoy. Now, I also don't hate them. I'm just kind of like indifferent and I just happen to be good. So it's like, I don't believe this thing where you have to follow your passion. I believe that you do whatever you're naturally skilled at, and then you use the results from that to fuel your passion. So because I have a business that can run itself, I can go golf and give and do the things I want to do. Because my real estate business has been very good for a long time, you know, it's made me money and it's given me resources and things. So I more so like would encourage people who are trying to figure this out to think about the end result you look for and not so much worry about the vehicle of how it gets you there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it comes back to sports, you know, like for me, like I loved competing. Like I knew for me, wrestling, there's a tournament, there's a match. Like I love that. But then everything leading up to that was like cutting weight, not eating or drinking.
So bad.
You know, working out, lifting, running, waking up early, tired, sore, you know, it's like you go through all that pain for like this, you know, wrestling, it's a 6-minute match to get your hand raised, you know? I think a lot of people, when they get into entrepreneurship, it's tough for them because again, they're like, this isn't fun, this is hard. And they just stop. They just keep, I was yelling, like, stopping, like just keep going. Like you can do the things that aren't necessarily the most fun if you're like looking forward to the thing over there, right? Which is whatever they are passionate about.
Well, I was talking to you before too, like about that webinar you did that was like kind of your guys' first major breakthrough. You said you did it 80 times live, you evergreened it and all that. And I'm like, there ain't no way anyone could like doing 80 webinars, even if you're the king of webinars. Like that's going to get so boring, the same presentation, minor tweaks, this and that, but yet you did it 80 times. And I was like telling, some buddies here, I was like, man, the thing I respect the most is people that have longevity, because longevity requires you to do the same things over and over again, over and over again. And it's so boring. And we live in a world of shiny object syndrome where everybody wants new and everybody wants to find the hack. And it's like, no, dude, the boring stuff is literally what builds greatness.
Yeah. A lot of it over time, compounding, keep putting it in.